Gentlemen, today I'm going to teach you the matrix knot, which is number 32 in the top 50 knots. We made a list, we checked it twice, we found the knots that are nice. Alright, so this necktie starts in your hand, and you just take and drape the tie over your hand with the blade facing you, and then get down to the tail, get closer to the tail, and just wrap the tail towards you like so. So you basically create what I call the bottom loop, and you pinch the loop with your thumb. And now we're going to create the top loop by crossing the blade in front of the bottom and the top loop, and then cross it again. So that's 2 wraps around, and then you go under and then through the top loop. So you're going to take the tip, I just fold the tip of the tie and poke it through the top loop. You only have one hand because you're still pinching the bottom loop. And when it comes out the other side, you want the inseam showing. And you actually want to get it good and tight so that your front cross doesn't come out. And again, make sure that the inseam is coming out of that loop, because now you're going to make the neck loop by taking the tip again and just putting it through the top loop again. Alright, so again we have our bottom loop, we have our top point, we have our neck loop. We're just going to go ahead and throw that on. And then you go ahead and tighten the neck loop by pulling the wide end. So as you can see, the inseam is still facing out. You get that good and tight, and then one tip here is that if you take this bottom loop and if you pull on the top of it, it's going to pull the point out. You don't want to do that. But if you pull on the bottom of it, it's going to actually tighten that top loop. So you just pull on the bottom, tighten that top loop, it tightens around this, and that'll help you get the neck loop even tighter. Alright, so now that we got everything good and tight around our neck, the next step is to take the wide end and just push it up. I just take my thumb and I just push it up through the neck hole. And it doesn't really matter how you push it up, as long as it comes out with the inseam on the outside. Because you need that inseam on the outside as you take and create what I call the back loop by running the blade behind the knot and then pushing the blade down through the neck hole with the inseam still out. So I don't know if you can see that, but once I get it done, it should look like this, where you have 2 sides of the bottom loop. And then make sure everything's straight and flowing correctly, because you actually need now to take the blade through this back loop. And you can do that by just pushing everything up and going up through the back loop and then pulling the blade down. I like to push, once I get the blade in there, I like to push that back loop up a little bit. And if you pull the blade down, it's going to tighten the left loop. If you pull the bottom of the left loop, it's going to tighten the right loop. So you can kind of shape everything a little bit, make sure that everything's flowing correctly. And now we're almost finished with this knot, because the last step is to just take the blade through this bottom hole And then you just shape everything, make sure it's falling correctly. And if I want to take some of that point out of there, I can pull on the top. Try to make sure everything is symmetrical. This side is always a little bit bigger than this side because the blade is getting wider as it goes down, but you can kind of make it appear the same by just pushing and pulling and shaping. So I want to throw your collar down, see what it looks like with the coat on. Voila. That is the matrix knot. Check out MyNiceTie.com. We've got accessories, we've got neckties, everything supports a good cause, everything changes the world, one necktie at a time. We'll be coming out with these videos every week. They're a lot of work, so if you found this video helpful, hit a button on the page. Any button that you feel we've earned, hit it. Now, let me show you how to hit. Elbows in, boom, boom. They won't even see it coming, guys. Hit those buttons. This has been signing out.